that last reading was super fun. Why I've been having a weird time talking lately. So I had decided for that last reading to use coins instead of cards, which is fun. And I would like to start doing oracles off of other things as well. One, just because I think it's like an educational thing. It's creative. It forces me to get into a different element. So I can look forward to that, because I'll likely start doing oracle readings off of just like whatever random things I come across. But prior to deciding that, I had already taken these cards out and decided that I wanted to do a reading that was basically off of my oracle cards, and then use my holograph, my holodeck to clarify. So that's what we're going to be doing now. That's all I got. Technically on a break right now. Making the most of it. Let's try this one. I don't want to look at the cards because I haven't seen a lot of the ones in this deck, but I decided to flip it over in order to... The first card that came out is Earth, which we had the last time I used this deck, and it came out on its side. These cards, it's because my hands are so tiny, these cards are harder for me to flip through and manage, because they're a little bit bigger, and I just got these little hands. Y'all ever seen that Burger King commercial? Maybe the last time I'm flipping through these, so I'll come back to them, but I might end up using the holodeck more for more of the cards. We might just end up with just that one card. Let's see. Okay. The Milky Way again. Interesting. Okay. So Earth came out like this. The Milky Way came out. I just flip those. I feel like they came out, it's because I grabbed them that way. They came out like this. So the opposite of each other. Earth and the Milky Way, which is beautiful, and it's cool to have them on transition, and it's cool to have them together the way that they do. Also, with them both being dark skinned, they're giving me like the feeling of being from the same person. It's different color skin, but they still are giving me that feeling. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's hard to say. This is the same color as the skin in this one, and they're both, you know, it kind of comes off of each other that way, but this hand is quite masculine. But the last time I did this, the tones were slightly different, and I still took them as coming from the same, so... what is cool about it is that the way that they came out, it's kind of giving this feeling of Earth being grounding, Milky Way being, you know, not necessarily being in one's head in a spiritual way, but it's out of this world, right? So it's like not just an innate grounding, it's something outside of that. Oh, we're looking at the base, and we're looking out in this opposite direction. The world, wild enough, came in the reverse, but the world came out, and I'm putting it in between the two because I had made a space for that. Okay. I don't know if what I'm saying is making any sense. So it looks like this. So the world in the reverse is like needing to balance between grounding and this is like not just destiny, this is like what's the word I'm thinking of? Ambition is what I'm getting. Needing to balance between grounding oneself and having these ambitions. And that's right where I'm at right now. I really want to take a nap, but I've just been like feeling up and down. The second that I start feeling like I want to take a nap, suddenly I have this burst of energy where suddenly I can't nap. I really feel like I just want to rest. But it also feels like I'm like fighting with it because it feels like there isn't time for that. I've got to be productive. But at the same time, it's like I can only be so productive when I'm not caring for myself. So as much as I'm beating myself up about it and feeling very guilty, I'm also feeling like without it, I'm going to have even more guilt, right? So it is about balancing these things. The Milky Way in of itself is an ultimate balance of all things, right? So you kind of got to trust for these things to fall into place. And the world being in the reverse is like the current energy. Okay. What do I need on the Milky Way side? Is there anything else for the Earth? 2 cards that came out for Milky Way, 1 card that came out for Earth. Okay. So on the side of, I have 2 cards that came out for each side. On the side of Earth, we have the Queen of Swords in the upright, and we have the Ace of Cups in the upright. So this concept of being confident, not arrogant, knowing one's skill, knowing one's position, knowing one's use, knowing one's purpose. And she's like, she has her truth, she has her confidence, and she's like almost like motioning at this Ace of Cups. And this Ace of Cups has the Holy Spirit coming in that's overflowing the cup that's being given by the divine. And it's overflowing it. Like my cup is overflown, right? Like the sense of being entirely abundant emotionally. So it's like this point of being able to be comfortable in oneself and knowing oneself is what leads to that confidence, and that confidence is what leads to being able to receive this overflow of abundance, of emotional abundance. And that's all within this grounding aspect. So it's like that's what's necessary, that's what's needed in order to ground oneself, is to be comfortable and confident in oneself and to embrace the overflowing of the emotions from the divine. What's needed to balance one's ambitions is this Four of Pentacles in the reverse. So not clinging to this sense of materialism or material wealth, not clinging to one's own coins, not clinging to what one has materialistically, innately, that way. Releasing like this sense of having to control those things. And also not, well, this is giving me like not celebrating too soon, but also not like looking to others for my sense of celebration and sense of success, not relying on others for those things, not needing connection with others in order to validate this. I mean, in the earth and in the grounding, the Ace of Cups is like the ultimate emotional abundance, which allows you to fully connect truly with others. But this is kind of like being willing to like move away from others in order to ground oneself, and in order to ground one's ambitions. It's like it's being willing to move away from others in order to ground one's own ambition. I just got the King of Swords that came out under Earth as well, which is like transforming one's own truth of self. So potentially like not having to value or identify oneself as it's like in order to stand alone, you have to be alone. But you don't have to fight for this sense of being alone. Because, like, ultimately, like, those who are like you will grow up alongside of you the same sort of way in this transition. It's like you don't need to, like, be out here looking for those things. You don't actively need to be like, no, I need my personal time and my personal space so much. But you do need to be willing to embrace those things as part of you in order to reach your sense of fulfillment. Then I have the star here, so it's almost like in this, under the Milky Way, in order to embrace one's ambition, true ambition, and a balance of that, you need to embrace that you are the star. You have to be willing to shine alone and to balance things out yourself. I've pointed out before, too, that in this star card, there's this bird in the tree in the back here that reminds me of a dodo bird, which is an extinct animal. So it's kind of this idea of like being willing to like be the last of a dying breed in order to fulfill one's ultimate destiny. Don't cling to a sense of materialism. Don't cling to others. It is really highlighting like being alone and being okay with that, which is hard because it's true. Every time that I start to consider my success and what I want to do with it, I immediately put others before myself. That's how I've always been. It's telling me that that's why I'm out of balance and why I'm not seeing that ultimate success that same sort of way, because it's going to come through me. It's going to come through me, and thus will come into the world and will come into others this way. I'm really not seeing even that being, it's not for me to worry about. It's not for me to worry about how it gets to others, the trickle down of that. It's about doing the thing and just trusting the universe. I think I've often valued myself by my capacity to care for others, to the point of compromising myself, and I've let that speak on my value to myself, and ultimately this is saying that like quit doing that. Quit doing that, and like don't worry about others at all. Let others worry about themselves. This is a new time. We're moving into a new world. I did my work that way, but I think much like the reading that I did earlier with the coins, like that work was done to create something in me fundamentally that will not actually be part of my foundations moving forward in the future. Which is hard because it's true, like literally I'm trying to determine what it is that I'm actually supposed to be doing in my career, right? And like the blockage does tend to be that like every time I consider it, like what am I supposed to be doing? Well, it starts to revolve around all these other people and what would be best for me to do for the sake of the world as a whole. Which I've said before too, is like, that's like, you know, it's kind of like the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. Like that's all great and good. It's very good to have that heart. It says something very nice and sweet about you. But we're not there anymore. Like that doesn't really matter. And ultimately if things aren't in an actual balance, they're not serving people the way that it seems like it should. So if you're giving more to others and you're giving more to balance than you're actually giving to yourself, there is no balance. And then what you're actually giving to others isn't truly what is supposed to be given to them. You know, we're talking about energy transference. Like, none of this is, that's why it's talking about not clinging to your material sense of things, because none of this is truly material. It's all, you know, beyond that, and it's all this energetic transference, and like, you really got to care for yourself wholly. And this card came out as I was just flipping through. I had a space in the, this was the way that the cards look right now. And so I had this space here in the middle, and it is hardness. It's got this goat, and it's funny because I've really been resonating with the mountain goat lately. Just in general, you know, I had talked about them being capable of climbing on these precipices that no other animal is on, and they do it for their own protection. They do it for their survival. They also seem to kind of just do it for their own fun, to be honest. They'll be like playing around, and like sometimes they fall and die, but they're the only animals able to do this, and the way that they do. And then I saw this video the other day that was of how they flirt, and like the males will stick their tongues out and wag their tongues at the females, and they'll go up and like start like flipping their tongues like really, really goofily. Like, it looks so funny, and it's a funny video, but they'll like do that at these female goats. And in the video that we were watching, it's what's that guy? Attenborough, right? Is that his name? You know who I'm talking about, the guy that does the narratives for like Discovery Channel type things. And he's like talking about this goat as it's trying to flirt with this other goat, and they're like zooming in on this goat's tongue, and he's just like flipping his tongue all stupidly. And then the girl's like, she kind of just turns around and starts walking away, and David Attenborough's like, she's not interested. And it makes me laugh because it just reminds me of me. It reminds me of me. But for a long time I have resonated with a mountain goat, and this is bringing that up again, which is a sense of hardness, and that it's okay. This is such a beautiful card. It's such a beautiful card, and we have hardness written in cursive, which makes it look so soft. And it's like that idea too, like, you know, I mean, it's in the reverse, to be honest. So it's almost like you don't have to be hard in order to be, that's a great one. So that's what it's telling me. You don't have to be hard in order to be stern or firm or grounded. You know, yeah, we have these rams that'll like ram their heads into each other, but that's not what the mountain goat actually is. Or maybe that's a different kind of goat. That's not what one this is. They'll fight for what they believe in, but ultimately, like, they're kind of gliding on these precipices, and like I said, they're being very silly in order to flirt, and there is this feeling of like being lighthearted, embracing the Ace of Cups, not clinging to these material senses, not having to be arrogant in order to be righteous or just or sound or stoic. You know, not letting this world in the reverse like get to us in a way that makes us hard, but staying firm in our truths. But like, even the King of Swords, like, his throne has butterflies on it. The Queen of Swords, like, they come across as, you know, they have swords, like they're battle ready, but they have fucking butterflies on their thrones. You know, it's something transformative, it's something beautiful, it's something soft, it's something that, you know, they're pollinators, they care for the plants, they're friends with the bees, they're, you know, this soft and gentle, it's a soft and gentle concept. So it's also about that too, where it's like, you know, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. In fact, doing what everybody else is doing is going to limit you. You need to embrace doing what you're already doing and being very raw about it. Do what you're already doing and be raw about it. This person's naked. You know, don't hide yourself away. There's a balance. You don't need to hide yourself away. You don't need to be arrogant. You don't need to cling to these concepts. those are all in the past. We're in the new world now. That's why it's in the reverse as well. This isn't the old world. This isn't the world as we know it. This is a new world where things are soft and things are balanced, you know. Okay, I need to speak on it before, because it's not going to take these out for me. Can I have one more card about the world? One more card about the world, please. Time. But it's in the reverse. So it's like, it's not that it's taking time, it's that it is the time. Now is the time. Now's the time for the new world. Now is the time to do these things, to release these things, to move forward, to embrace this balance. You don't need to defend yourself anymore. You put the arrogance away. It's not necessary here. Confidence, okay. Surety of self, yes. The ability to embrace oneself shining, even, yes, but arrogance, no. Fear is not present here and has no place here. We're not following the Three of Pentacles. We're not following old directives. We're not following old traditions, religions, ways of life. We're crafting for ourselves something new. The Five of Wands in the upright. We're learning a new way of being by actively engaging with it. They're not fighting with swords, they're fighting with sticks. There are a bunch of boys playing. You know, and it's to build on each other's strength and to build in this sense of camaraderie. So, like, there is no arrogance needed. That's not going to help. We're all equals in this game. There's no fear. We're playing with sticks. We're all just, this is a game, you know. You don't have to fear some eternal damnation. You don't have to fear, you know, falling off the mountain. That's in reverse. You don't have to be hard. You know, you can sit comfortably embracing the things that are flowing to you without clinging to these different concepts, letting things be in flow, letting things take time, but recognizing that right now is the time to do that. We have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, next to our Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Not looking for comfort in what's already been. Not looking for material comfort. We're in this is an energetic time. And that's true too with the sticks. Like when you're playing this fighting game of sticks with all your brothers, like, yeah, there might end up being a singular winner, but really it's about the fun of the game and learning through experience, through the journey, like learning more. Every time that you play it, you do better. It's like sparring. Like I said in a different video, where like sparring ends up being fun because every time that you spar, you learn a new way of fighting. You learn a better way of being. The Page of Pentacles in the reverse. So again, it's not about claiming an opportunity for wealth. It's about embracing this concept that we're all growing together, that we're all in this transition. we're all in this transition. Like the entire universe is going through this transition. It's not just those that we know and our friends, it's the entire universe. But like I said, like those that are like you will grow up with you, growing in the same dirt, under the same light, you know. But we're all equal, we're all balanced. Everything is falling into a grander balance. Just like in time. So you see, actually in the reverse, it's like we've got these waters on top that are falling. And it's all these emotions, the waters in the firmament, you know, are falling, and then they're creating these mountains. Everything is falling into place that way. And then once it gets turned back over, you know, then it has its time and place to fall back into balance. But we're in a new world now too, where like, in order to build this new foundation, what's being required is energy, emotions, spirituality, stepping into those things. It's no longer about fighting these battles for the sake of winning. It's the journey and the fact that we're all falling into this. We're all playing this game. It's no longer following old directives and standards in order to feel comfortable. It's embracing having to go through the dirt and break apart as a seed and grow up into something new and beautiful. It's being confident. It's being sure of oneself. It's knowing one's place in the world. It's knowing what to do with what one has. But in that, all of those things are pointing towards the embracing of divine abundance in an emotional, spiritual sense. It's not about being hard. It's not about clinging to what we know or what makes us feel some type of way about ourselves. It's not about clinging to the relationships that make us feel some type of way. Those concepts of self are being done away with in order for us to be able to shine. You know, a star, the stars that we see shine in the sky and give us light here on Earth, but they're actually dead millions of light years away. You know, that's very depictive of the times in which things exist, and that there's a beginning and end to all things. And it's all essential, and it's all part of this. This was a short read, but I feel like this, just whoever needed to hear it, I needed to hear it. It's a bit of a reminder for me. Yeah, this came out quite seamlessly, and that's the message that's in it. So take of that what you will. I would like to do shorter reads like this, to be honest. Yeah, I hope that this was beneficial for you. This is one that's going to be sinking in with me for a bit. I'll likely do another read later tonight, I'm not sure, but I hope you're having a good day. I hope this blesses you. Stay blessed, bless yourself, give yourself some love, but also embrace that this is the time, and that that we're doing things are moving, things are in motion. It's a new world, new day. Make the most of it, and I will see you soon.